And here we go. Hello there, thanks for joining me. I'm AVstoryteller. This is my Let's Play The Witcher Wild Hunt. Let's jump back into it. We are following the good doctor for the quest Carnal Sins to examine the previous victim. A dwarf, apparently. Quick check of the map and the mission. For those just joining us, Carnal Sins. Find the dwarven woodcarver's body using your Witcher sense, which we have done. We've gone through the sewers, defeated some drowners. This doctor, this Von Gratz, it's an intriguing character. In fact, we actually got a character update for him. Joachim Von Gratz. We met... I'm probably butchering this name. Joachim von Gratz, chief surgeon at Vilmurus Hospital in very unfortunate circumstances. My Priscilla, remember this is written from the point of view of Dandelion. My Priscilla had been attacked and he was tending to her wounds. I must admit I was so shaken but not stirred I hardly remembered our first meeting, save that he was cool-headed. A cool-headed doctor who seemed to know a great deal about the previous murders and offered to help investigate the matter. It seems the surgeon was no stranger to violence, for he bore a formidable scar worthy of a veteran of the Battle of Brennan. Yeah, a morning star or flail scar down the back of his neck. Geralt also noted that Von Gratz seemed quite experienced at navigating the sewers and fighting the monsters dwelling within it. Okay, let's get down to this autopsy.
Looks like necrophages got to this one.
Ah.
Human. Wrong body type.
Human. Okay. There's a lot of loot about here, but we're actually at the mortuary. Whee! I did that on purpose. Just to remind you where I had come from. I like the water overflow into the sewers. Nice little touch. Attention to detail. Here we go.
Calluses on the fingers, sawdust in the beard, clothes sticky with sap. Must be our dwarf.
Excellent. I trust you don't grow weak in the knees at the sight of blood?
Not a bit. Start the autopsy.
Where?
Start at the bottom, or genitals in this case.
His genitals. We ought to inspect those.
I sincerely doubt they bear any relation to the matter.
We'll see.
We'll see. Pull down his trousers and... shit.
Syphilis, actually. Early stages. No sign of diffusion.
Think there could be a connection?
Only as the killer's potential motivation.
Legs.
See anything interesting on his legs?
His right foot. The ankle swollen. Toenails broken. He clearly kicked something very hard. Right before he kicked the bucket.
Doesn't strike me as the right time for jokes.
Apologies. We surgeons, we've a different sensibility.
Mm-hmm. And a different sense of humor.
Hands.
Look at his hands. These welts. Rope burns, right? He was tied up.
I'd expect so. No one could sit through such torture unless bound.
Speaking from experience?
Yes, that of a victim. Spent a year in the dungeons of Tretogor. Long story.
Some other time, maybe. See the callus? Our dwarf wore a ring, but someone took it off him.
Maybe that was a thief after the murder, rather than the murderer himself.
Let's examine his torso.
What have we here? Deep wound on the left side of his rib cage, and a scar the length of his stomach.
Okay, open the abdomen.
Open the abdominal cavity.
Due warning, it will stink of rot.
Once fought a Zoogle up to my waist in sewage, so I doubt... Wait. Smells not rot.
Formaldehyde. A medical novelty. Heavily diluted, it's remarkable at preserving organic tissue. In stronger proportions, it's more destructive than acid.
Explains why there's no smell of decay, and why his throat's scalded.
See, with the scalded throat, I thought maybe it was attack against Troubadour, like maybe our murderer had a thing against singers, something like that. Let me just check everything is recording correctly, which it is. But unless this dwarf was also a thespian, maybe the murderer was trying to preserve the interior. But why is the incision in the larynx? Curious and curious. Check the scar.
Look at the scar. Wounds long and thin, an incision, but the edges are ragged.
Means nothing. Look, no swelling, no bruises. An old injury, perhaps an accident in the workplace.
Chest wound.
Let's examine the chest wound. Yeah, heart carved out, wound cauterized.
Wait a minute, there's something else.
An egg from an amphibian. A salamander? Scorched but intact.
I attended some lectures in herpetology as a student. Afraid I don't recall any amphibians that would lay eggs in corpses. So either Professor Cochrane was deeply mistaken, or this is our murderer's doing.
He put an egg inside his chest cavity. Still got that head.
Let's look at his head. Hair smells like it's burnt, like he was in a fire.
Notice anything else? That his eyes have been scooped out, for instance?
Yeah, let's check out the larynx.
See this? Incision made into the voice box.
Indeed, so thin as to be nearly unnoticeable.
A small, extremely sharp instrument. Scalpel.
But why? The wound is too small to bleed, and there are signs of swelling. The murderer... I believe he performed a tracheotomy, so the victim wouldn't die too soon.
Did he cut the larynx so the victim can scream? Which would mean it was in a very public place, maybe. How would you make that the first attack? But that's a very specific place. So it's probably not that. Unless the victim knew the murderer and was not expecting the attack at all. It'd have to be someone comfortable, very comfortable. Look at the mouth.
Let's examine the mouth. Burns, blisters.
Just like Priscilla's.
Eye sockets.
Those burn marks I see in his eye sockets.
Yes, and some grey dust. Ash, it seems, very fine.
Murderer gouged out his eyes, then put burning coals in the sockets.
So it seems. Looking at the wounds, it appears our woodcarver was still alive when it happened.
Let's look at something else. I don't think there is anything else. Alright.
Alright, think I know enough.
Enlighten me, please, because I've still no notion what this is about. What the motive might have been.
My gut is saying this was punishment.
Sure of one thing. This was punishment.
Even the witch hunters don't engage in this kind of torture. What sin could possibly merit it?
Only the murderer knows that. And it's the key to finding him. Or her.
Or them.
It's a lead worth following. Any idea what his name was?
Fabian Meyer. And I'm Hubert Reich, the coroner. I've come to perform the autopsy, but I see you've done it for me, Joachim. As always, you
Joachim.
interfere where you're neither needed nor wanted. Drag others into trouble in the process. Who is this?
A student. Lifelong learner. Got a couple questions for you.
Very well, speak. But be quick. Reverend Nathaniel has come by for an inspection. He'll be here shortly.
We'll cover, but let's find some background information.
You old friends?
Hubert taught me the rudiments of medicine long ago.
And not very
He
well.
taught him.
You've still not mastered certain basic principles.
Vampire?
For example, that a doctor's role is to treat the ill, not save the world.
You've not changed a bit.
A compliment?
No, a statement of fact. 30 years, and you've not changed a bit.
Woodcarver's body. Where was it found? It's important.
Plan to investigate? Exciting. He died in his workshop south of the market square, just beside the gate to Far Corners. That poor Trebirates was attacked there. City's abuzz about it. But the woodcarver, Eustace the corpse collector, brought us the body. You should speak to him.
Eustace.
Saw him just around the corner near... Oh, greetings, your reverence.
Who are these people? I believe I made it clear no one's to be allowed in under any circumstances.
You did, but they're friends of the deceased. Here to collect the body.
Out of the question. Show them out at once.
As your reverence wishes. Gentlemen, follow me. You shall leave via another route.
And that was a good
Why'd you cover
distraction.
for us?
I was covering my own arse. If Reverend Nathaniel had learned someone had entered the morgue, then cut open a corpse without his permission, I'd be in deep trouble. But you didn't give that a thought, did you, Joachim? As ever. Well, while I don't approve of your willfulness, I also wish to see this murderer hang. So, should I learn anything new related to this case, I will let you know.
Thank you.
You would hope if he was a vampire or maybe a long-lived werewolf, Geralt's medallion would be vibrating like crazy. And he would mention it. So how can that man, kind of a bit of a Dorian Gray situation, hasn't aged in 30 years, that younger man taught this older man. Who's he, Nathaniel?
Nathaniel. Who is he?
A scoundrel, a rogue, like every man who wears the robes of the eternal fire.
Most are scoundrels before they ever put on the robes.
True in his case as well. Before he donned the frock, Nathaniel was a torturer, delighted especially in torturing women. Later, Hierarch Hemmelfart appointed him to oversee the morgue. He deals with the temple guard, supervises cremations, conducts funeral masses in the temple on the Isle, and
So forth and so on.
Dream job.
Could have told me you knew the coroner.
Might have told me you know the coroner. We could have skipped the trip through the sewers.
I know him, thus I avoid him. I've said enough on the subject.
Closed. No, I'll decide when I've heard enough.
I decide when we're done with the subject. What's your connection to him?
An old story, but if you insist. The student protests in 1242, you've heard of them? I led them. Hubert, however, denounced me to the authorities. I landed in prison. There you have it. What will you do now?
Plenty of leads. Woodcarver's workshop, the corpse collector who found him, alley where Priscilla was attacked. Got work to do.
As do I. At the hospital. I must return there. But I shall keep my fingers crossed.
And I'll keep my eye on you.
I like him, actually. I like that guy. Carnal Sins. Character entry added. Nathaniel Pastodio. Hubert? What's that? Hubert? Reject? Carnal Sins. Quest updated. How are we doing for time? We are doing super fine. Let's stick in a cheeky quick save. It's 5:35 AM. Let's check out the map and the mission. Investigate the alley where Priscilla was attacked using your Witcher Sense. Examine a place where the woodcarver died using your Witcher Sense. Find Eustace the corpse collector. Let's check that character entry. What was that about books? The wave of religious and radically motivated killing that swept through Novigrad in the spring of 1272, when the student riots were, coincided with Hubert Rijks. I'm going to pronounce that J as an I, so that'd be Rijks' term as coroner at the city morgue. Because of this, he was overworked and additionally had to bear the harassment of his dislikable superior, Reverend Nathaniel. It is thus no surprise that he came across as unpleasant and sarcastic when Geralt and he first met. Furthermore, it was clear there was bad blood between him and, I've already forgotten how you pronounce his name, Joachim van Grat. The fact that did little to improve the already rather stiff atmosphere at the morgue. Stiff atmosphere. They must have patted themselves on the back when they came up with that one. The stiff atmosphere at the morgue. Nevertheless, having learned the reason for Geralt's unexpected visit, Herbert made it clear Geralt and Joachim could count on his help. Reverend Nathaniel, supervisor of the city morgue and cleric of the Church of the Eternal Fire, was a man with a vile character and a stormy past. Before donning the frock, he had served for years as a city torturer. One would be hard-pressed to find a more inferior candidate for a pastor than a former hangman, but as the saying goes, in Novigrad, anything is possible, and that was Thaler. So, let's check the map. What's close and what's not? Corpse collector, kind of jumping out at me, wood carver, and the alleyway. So okay, let's go at that one first. Let's make that magic happen. Coming through.
Bloody bandits! Can't go out in
What
the
the
streets
hell?
no more.
At least before they didn't used to kill women.
Fall afoul of the king of beggars, and you'll get no mercy no matter who you are.
Investigate the alleyway Priscilla was attacked in your witch's sense. But this is talk to Eustace, this one. Okay, that was a bit confusing for a second there. Go away. There we go. Corpse collector.
Take care of yourself.
You Eustace, the corpse collector?
Aye? How'd you know?
Fourth sense, I think it is. You bring Fabian Meyer's body to the morgue?
Fabian. Oh, yeah, I remember. No eyes, no heart, one of them, right? No purse neither, as I recall.
Collected other bodies with those injuries?
One of them? So there have been other bodies like that?
Sure have. Beggars, street urchins, and street walkers.
Quite a lot of them,
One
I
was so
something.
portly, I had to cut her into pieces to fit her in me wheelbarrow. Slippery sow, they called her, on account of the...
Some things are best left unsaid. What happened to the pieces?
What do you mean? Reverend Nathaniel ordered them burned. Every last one. Oh, shame that was.
Shame? Why? Actually, never mind.
Mine.
Another thing that's best left unsaid.
You searched him?
You search Fabian's body?
Well, I cast an eye in his pockets. Made sure nothing went to waste.
I call a spade a spade. You rob corpses.
And I call a prick a prick. It's none of your fucking concern. What, you tax collector? Piss off, mutant.
Let's try a bit of the Axie.
Talk. What did you find?
40
on him?
experience points received.
I had you wish. Triflings, baubles, gloss-beaded ring, handful of coins, and a letter. Look, vellum, quality parchment that. I'll wipe off the writing as sell it as new.
That's human skin. Priscilla. Next victim's name. If you'd given this to the right person, she might not have been hurt.
What the fuck do I care what happens to some Priscilla? We short of wenches in this town.
Get the fuck out of my face.
Get out of my sight. Now.
Nothing new.
Okay, let's check this out.
Just
Monsters must have run him down.
Going to the well.
There's swarms in the
She
city.
waved to me.
I'm not going to drink anything or eat anything around here.
Knife wounds. Means bandits dropped them. Plain as that.
La 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 la.
There's a lot of background voiceovers which I think are relevant around here. I love a murder mystery, I do.
Looking to make some coin too.
Shady individual.
So, how'd it go with this healer? I was faffing about, minding my own business, when suddenly...
Fine kettle of fish.
Excuse me, takes away my livelihood. Monty Python's Guest Life of Brian. I'm sure I've mentioned that before. Whoops.
Hey, handsome.
So this whistling Wendy. That's probably very loud. Did you see anything? No. The laconic type.
A brazier. This time of year?
Hey, sis. That him.
How am I to know? Watch him, see what he does.
Uh-oh, what we got here?
Take him from the back. Slaughter the freak.
I'm not allowed to draw my weapon, it seems. I have to play fair. 3 against 1, it seems.
Son of a...
Try to lead them in one line.
That's him.
You're carrion.
Son of a whore.
Ah, oh, damn it. That was a bloody mouse fuggle, that was. I was really trying to get through that entire fight without getting a blow landed on me.
Think you'll get me too, huh? Up your ass, deviant! Hoes can fight back!
Calm down, I'm not gonna hurt you. What are you doing here?
Getting vengeance. Well, why are you staring? Have you not heard killers always return to the scene of their crime? Me and my brothers are waiting here to give him a warm welcome. For Priscilla. Almost did her in, the whole son.
I know. Here to look for clues and find anyone who might know something.
Fear I can't help you much. But I can tell you what I know.
Priscilla wasn't the sole victim, you know that, right?
Priscilla wasn't the sole victim. You aware of that?
Oh, dearie. Course I was. This didn't start yesterday. Others have died like this before. Beggars, street girls, orphans. But who'd have a drama concern about them? Human rubbish. It's what the guards call us.
Recall any names?
They didn't have proper ones. Baldy, curly, buns. That's what folk called them. No friends, no families. Their bodies were burned long ago.
Maybe it's not punishment then. Maybe it's more like an experimentation. You and Priscilla friends?
You and Priscilla friends?
Friends? Nah. But she saw more than a stupid whore in me. Treated me with respect. It mattered. I was looking to give up whoring, pick up a decent trade, but none would take me. Not as a washerwoman, nor a servant, nor a cook. Felt like a leper, I did. But Priscilla, she was different. Agreed to put me in her play, you see. Lots of the other actors, they were afraid on account of her jesting about the eternal fire. Whistling Wendy on stage, can you imagine it? Well, dream's gone now. I'm back to working street corners.
Sorry to hear that.
You could do worse as work goes. Or so I tell myself.
What are we doing for time? We are okay. Farewell.
Take care now. I gotta look around some more. Appreciate it if you didn't disturb me.
Naturally. We'll stand aside, behave. But do tell us if you find anything else here.
Oh, my head's ringing.
No saving allowed. Ah, here we go. Examine.
Tramp. Novigrad's not your stomping ground.
Man's footprint. The murderer's, maybe. Weight on his heel. Took a step back.
Knocked off
A
the
brazier.
brazier.
This time of year? Murderer fled before the guards arrived. Ran this way. Trail ends here. Strange. Even I couldn't jump this wall.
Concerned citizen sermon. Let's read that. Remember, good people, that the light cast by the fire dispels every darkness, reveals every lie, exposes every unworthy and debauched soul. Not even shapeshifter Doppler can hide from its light, but even witches and sorceresses so adept at fooling the common folk, not the loose women who walk the streets and fog men's mind with their charms, abandon then the treacherous and immoral magic arcane, cover your bodies in modesty and provoke no unclean thoughts, and the eternal fire was exposed for you, all monsters and sinners, all burn you in this tune. It's, oh, God, nanny bloody state.
A brazier. This time of year?
Got a whiff of something here. Can't find any.
Awful pale.
Go on.
A brazier. This time of year? A brazier.
Come on.
This time of year? I know that smell. Formaldehyde. I know that smell. Formaldehyde. Human. Priscilla's.
Quest updated. Carnal Sin. So, examine the place where the woodcarver died. These in your Witcher scent.
Many thanks to you.
Sticking a. We don't hear that very often. Let's see if we can figure this last piece of the puzzle.
Oi, Witcher! Coroner wants to see you. Been another victim. Told me to say the main door will be open for you. You're to come as soon as you can.
Okay. Quest update. Carnal Sin. Talk to the coroner. Where's that on the map?
Spare a copper or two.
Was that
No loitering round here.
to be triggered as soon as I picked out 2 of the 3 clues, or was it this one particular one? Why is it leading me the other way around? Is it interior?
Look awfully suspicious to me, tramp.
Excuse me. How do I get in here?
Move it!
Radovid wants 1 currency for all the north. Means to squelch the dwarven coin changer.
What a freak.
Bless of you,
Oh.
Pete, don't believe you. Why the hell should a sensible dwarf like me?
How am I supposed to get up there? Is that stairs up there? It's locked. Damn it. I thought I might have found our way in there.
No loitering round here.
No lollygagging.
Anyone home?
Begone, or I'll sick me hounds on you. Molly, Striga, come!
Relax. I'm here about Fabian Meyer, looking for his killer.
That's altogether different. Sit, you stupid mutts, lie down. Come on, come on in. Slowly now, lest they bite you.
I can't see them, but I assume they're charming creatures.
Charming as beasts go.
You daft. Even I'm scared of them. But better barking dog than an evil man at your door.
Got someone particular in mind?
Sure as shite. Bugger who did Fabian in. Soon as they'd hauled his corpse off, I run to a mate who raises fighting dogs. Bought these two mutts. Cost me a chunk of change. But I sleep sound at least.
And you are?
So who might you be?
The Stiff's brother. Gus is the name. We ran a workshop together. Meyer and Meyer.
What'll it be now? Just Meyer?
Name it. I'll be closing it down now. As soon as I find a buyer for this shack, I'll head on to Mahakam. Be near my family, or what's left of it. So, what do you want to know? What can I tell you about Fabian?
Your brother have any enemies? Your brother have any enemies? Anyone dislike him? Threaten him, maybe?
Nay. 'Twas Fabian who threatened this one last. Oh, you were a good dwarf. Craftsman like no other. But he were an incorrigible whoremonger as well. Whenever we put a bit of coin aside, I'd say, let's buy some tools, quality timber. No, he grabbed the purse and head out whoring. Took to following one in particular. He'd say, 'tis all your fault, dirty bitch, human dish rag, and other obscenities. Don't rightly know what that was about. Maybe he was in love with her.
Know where I can find her, this dish rag?
City cemetery. She died a few days back, quietly in her sleep. Her pont said a fever took her.
Her pont? Know much about the murder?
Tell me what you know about the murder, in order, in detail.
'Twas like this. Had some work in Oxenfurt, and I was coming home. Saw a plume of smoke rising over the city. Thought to myself, blast it, gonna miss him burn another hag. But the smoke wasn't coming from Hierarch Square. It was coming from here. See the soot stains? That's where they burned our sculptures. Folk gathered round the blaze and found Fabian here beside it. They'd already loaded him on the cart by the time I arrived.
Talk to your neighbors. They see anything suspicious beforehand? Hear anything?
Claimed not to. But even if they had, they'd not have helped. In Novigrad, folk give bleeding orphans in the street a wide berth so as not to stain their poor lanes. What do they care about some dwarf?
That's enough.
Fine. We've talked enough. Need to look around.
Be my guest. Just beware of the dogs.
Bloodstains.
That's where Fabian lay when they found him.
What's this light mark?
Someone dragged something across the floor. Or dragged it from one wall to the other, repeatedly.
Dragged it from one wall to the other.
Murderer dragged something heavy. Dragged something across the floor. Statues. Or dragged it from one wall to the other, repeatedly. Statues of the old gods. Nothing but women. Shapely ones.
Shapely ones. Let's read this concerned citizen's sermon. Remember, good people, that fire can be both a blessing and a curse. Fire can warm with its flames. Fire can prepare our nourishment. Fire can drive off the horrors of the dark. Yet fire can also scorch, burn, and incinerate. That is why we must live in harmony with eternal fire and its commandment. Whoever fails to heed this lesson, whoever lives in ignorance, whoever mocks it, the same shall lose his life in its flame. Take my counsel to heart, good people, or you. Is this Nathaniel's doing this? Leaving these leaflets? That would seem a bit dumb.
Mind if I go inside the workshop?
I've not even peeked inside since they found Fabian. But I'll open it for you if you want.
Quest updated, Carnal Sins.
More blood stains, but not near enough to say he bled to death. Unless somebody got rid of the blood. Left a few stains behind. Formaldehyde. Doubt Fabian used it.
Is it the vampire coroner?
Furniture got knocked over. This looks like it was kicked.
By the dwarf with the broken foot.
Eyes. Humanoid. Completely rotten.
Talk to the coroner.
Formaldehyde. Doubt Fabian used it.
I've still got this red mark. Broken red.
Doubt Fabian used it. Murderer dragged something heavy. Dragged something across the floor. Statues. Or dragged it from one wall to the other, repeatedly.
Why create the pyre? He goes in to kill the dwarf, but then why drag out all the carvings?
Well.
How are we doing for time? Ah, we are over. We are over. This seems like a brilliant place to leave it for today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. This is an awesome quest. I'm liking the good murder mystery quest. I hope you are enjoying it too. If you do, please like, subscribe, leave me a comment, and join me next episode where we return to the coroner carefully and on guard. Because I think he might have something to do with these murders. So until then, take care of yourself. Goodbye for now. Bye bye.